when we train regularly, we get to practice moving out of the way of things and moving with things, which we don't get to do right now because we're all, almost all of us are home alone. So to start, we just take the Joe and you like throw it against yourself and start to feel where it hits and how it hits.
I'm hitting you? You want the Joe to hit you? Is that it? Okay.
And you'll notice you can, like, it doesn't take much force. You just use a finger and you throw it and it hits in different spots in different ways, right? And unless you're very, like, you have great fine-tuned control of your finger, there's going to be a little bit of randomness in it because even if I keep throwing it in the same way, it's a little different each time where it hits and how it hits. So just feel it hit.
That was too random.
That's fine. While we go through this, it's going to end up hitting the floor a lot. So don't worry about it.
I don't mind the floor. It's when it hit my laptop. That wasn't good.
Yeah. Make sure the screen's in front of you when you throw towards yourself. And you can put it off on weird sides. Be careful of your laptop then.
Of your what? Left armpit?
Of your laptop.
Oh.
Because, right,
It says left armpit.
if I throw, if it's a little behind me and I throw it towards me, it falls forward once it hits.
Interesting.
I mean, it hits and it grazes. Like, so if you have something in front of you you don't want to hit, don't do that.
When it hits your armpit, it's not nice.
Sure. So now kind of Systema-ish. When it hits, let that part go with it a little bit. Absorb a little.
Oh, okay.
Ideally, you want to take the bounce out of it when it hits. If you can.
Wow. That's hard. Yeah. I'm so slow. This is good practice, Gary.
This is just the start, okay?
Can somebody throw the stick at my back?
You can throw it at your back. It's really not hard to.
Pick a different jug and I smash.
Right? You can put the stick behind you and throw it at your back. Just as easily as you can your front.
Yeah. Oof. Okay.
And the same with the sides, you can do it. But again, remember, if you're mostly on the side and you're coming mostly on the side but a little behind you and you come towards the front, it falls towards the front. Right? When it grazes. So just be careful.
Oh.
Alright, then for a little bit, try it with your eyes shut. Which for me is surprisingly easier.
Yeah. Yeah, because you don't have other stimulus, you're actually just focused on what that spot is. Can sense it better somehow. Or respond better.
Alright, and then keep your eyes shut, but add a little bit more oomph to your throw. So when it hits, it should kind of thud a little bit.
Yeah.
And if you're relaxed, it'll actually thud instead of bounce.
Oops.
Yeah, if you throw it a little harder, Andrew, it'll be a little easier. Instead of just letting it fall, give it a little oomph.
Oh, shoot.
You don't want us to hurt ourselves more.
Yeah. What's a smacker? Ow.
Meow. Meow.
Meow.
Meow.
Oh. Gary's cat class. Yeah,
Well, he asked us to close our eyes.
That's the next step, Kay. You just pick the cat up and you throw it at yourself. Become really relaxed as those claws go in.
throw it over your back.
On the bright side, it won't bounce.
Yeah.
Alright, so then the next stage, and you can have your eyes open again. When you throw it in, move out of the way. Try and move as little as possible to get out of the way. And if it hits you, that's fine. You can use the impact from it. And Kay is taking apart her house.
Do this to my mat. Cats are gonna like this noise. He's watching me like, what are you doing? You're so uncoordinated human.
No, finally, you get it. It's only I'm dropping things.
Yeah. And when it flew in the foot, that's not a good thing. see you do a couple of these, Gary. Okay. Okay.
From
They're
the,
not deflecting before it hits. You're letting it hit.
you can, so right now, yes, it normally hits a little bit and then I move. So I know the direction because it's a little random, right?
Yeah.
I could use my eyes and see the direction. That makes it,
Yeah.
it's just, makes it a little too easy.
Right. Okay.
And I'm trying to train my body so that when it gets hit,
You're trying to trick your body, what?
train my body so that when it gets hit, it goes with it.
Okay.
Including the feet, okay? Or, Kathy,
Time to reset the counter.
I get to move my feet?
you get to move your feet.
Oh, okay.
Right, this is something that we get to do all the time when we're actually training. Just because we're moving with a person or moving from a person's attack. So the question is, how do we do it other times?
Ow.
And if you're getting comfortable with it, throw it a little harder.
Sorry, it makes a loud noise when it hits my mouth.
Pretty sure it makes a loud noise for everybody whenever it hits.
Okay. It just seemed like mine was ridiculously loud.
So you've tried it a few times with your eyes open. Close your eyes. Because again, we're trying to train the body. And keep going as hard as you were. Don't go lighter just because your eyes are closed. Too early.
Your ability to progress is primarily limited by your willingness to hurt yourself.
I was going to say the bruises we're going to find on our bodies are going to be very interesting.
You got a bruise where?
Yeah, how did you do that again? Well, I was throwing a stick at myself, you see.
With my eyes closed. My eyes like,
Well, you saved that part of the explanation for later.
How did Gary hurt you over Zoom again?
How did Gary hurt you? He's in Denver. Well, he's very talented, you see.
He makes me hurt myself.
Let the record show Gary can say I did not say that. I'm not going to disagree yet, but I didn't say it.
All right. How are we doing with this?
Pretty good. Yeah.
Okay. So then the next step is we actually start to bring some of the concepts of Aikido, right? So it comes in, it hits, and make sure it doesn't hit the ground. Basically save your opponent. You still want to become soft so the impact's not hard on you. But you then want to make sure that your opponent is safe. which also means not abruptly stopping your opponent, right? I don't hit, grab. It goes, and I slow it down. I don't just stop it.
Yeah.
Which probably means your whole body's going to have to engage for it. At least at the beginning.
A little harder to do this behind yourself, but.
Shouldn't be.
Back.
Should be about the same.
I think my opponent got the best of me that time.
So yeah, for this, basically try and build as much compassion as you can for the stick.
Okay.
So you want your touch on it to be as gentle as possible.
Nice stick.
I mean, that's one of the things Aikido, yeah. So I mean, that's one of the things Aikido does, right? It builds compassion. Compassion for your attacker.
I'll let him drop.
That's not nice, Kay.
He was mean.
Doesn't matter. And then pick up the intensity a little bit. Throw it a little harder, a little faster. And you still have to be very gentle with it. That was not so good for me. That was better.
So you're not making it. Oh, you are making it. Okay, never mind. You just answered my question.
What?
You just answered my question.
What
Whether
were you-
you're actually letting it hit you first still.
Sometimes yes, sometimes no.
Okay.
One of the problems if you don't is it hits your hand. I don't know if
Yeah.
you can hear it, but that's pretty
Yeah.
hard.
Okay.
And the goal is to not have that impact at all.
Okay. Oof.
Which means you need to match the speed and force.
I feel like my Joe is possessed and it's attacking me. I think it has a mind of its own.
Good. Then you have a partner.
You
Yeah.
know, hey, it is the Halloween time of year. Things are becoming possessed more and more often. And suddenly my Joes become kindling if they start attacking me.
I got the wood burning stove.
Suddenly my Joes become kindling and I ship them to Kay so she can burn them.
Exercise. That's one way of getting even. Yeah.
So then, of course, the next step is close your eyes. close
Say that
your
again?
eyes. So you really have to be able to feel it. And same compassion, same speed.
Oh, closed eyes. He
Yep.
said.
Oh,
Okay.
closed
Close
eyes. I'm
your
sorry.
Yeah, I
eyes.
missed
Okay.
that. I missed that.
Yeah.
I finally figured
Sorry,
it out.
your audio cut out a second there, Gary. I didn't
Okay.
hear the closed eyes part.
I deduced it by his look on his face when he's throwing the joke at himself.
By the eyes being closed, was that it,
No, I
Kay?
can't see that well. It's just on a little iPad.
Of course, if the Joe ricochets in a different direction, how do you know where to catch it?
You have to feel it. And the first impact, right? You should be making the first impact soft enough that you can move around it. It shouldn't be bouncing. If it is, you're moving against it probably, or not moving fast enough. And of course, if you always throw at your chest, then throw at your hips or legs. Like change it up so you have different things to work with. How's it going?
Not bad, actually. I think. Occasionally, I think it must be good.
I hit right on my back of my spine where I hurt anyway.
How is your back?
It's still not great, but horse riding actually made it feel a lot better. So I think.
Well,
it
right
was
now her
right.
back is being bruised up by a Joe, that's for sure.
But the horseback riding really helped.
Oh, good.
It usually does. Loosens it up. And I practiced my
So-
Ikeda Sensei stuff on my horse. It was fun. Yeah, changing your center, waiting different places.
So, Andrew, if you can, there's like this lag that happens, right? You throw and then you move. This hit should cause the motion.
Say that again?
That first initial hit, that causes the motion. It's not hit and then what happens, right?
Yeah, I'm failing to see what's different than what I'm doing. I do miss myself occasionally because my eyes are shut, so I'm
It's not-
throwing it at myself and I miss.
It's not the missing. It's you're absorbing, waiting, and then moving. Instead of this impact absorbs and causes the motion.
Okay, I get you.
Oops. Unless you just throw it on the floor.
Or you could take Kay's approach and just throw it on the floor.
Yeah, here.
Then you don't have to do it.
Kay's version. You know, we can just.
Everybody's doing the
Better
K.
yet? Sorry. My fault.
Yeah, that's what I meant. But you felt the delay in that one, right? You felt the delay in that one. The one before it, it all worked as
The
one
one
thing.
before was more of a bounce off, and
No.
I guess that it all depends on the direction, the angle that I throw it to myself, which I can't tell because my eyes are shut. So I'm trying to interpret as quickly as I can, and sometimes I can't react quickly
Okay.
enough. Otherwise, it just bounces right off.
So what would help with that?
I don't know if it's a matter of practice, if it's a matter of feel, if it's a matter of just where I'm throwing it on my body. I can't tell yet.
You're standing in Hominy. That could be a problem.
For that?
Yep, just parallel. So that way, neither foot's weighted. So whichever way you have to turn, you can turn easily. It might help. I don't know.
Worth a shot.
Sorry, normally I have you guys on my phone, so I can't see what you're doing. Now I can see what everybody's doing.
Ah,
Wait a minute. So we are on your phone, or we're not on your phone right now?
No, you're on a big ass screen.
Ah, so you can see us now,
I can.
can't you?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
much better than I can see it.
I'll let them die. Wah, wah. Cool. So then, next step would be, can you throw it back to your other hand with the same gentleness after you've stopped it, right?
Hey? Say that again?
So-
Couldn't hear you.
The gentleness that I stop it with, right?
Yeah.
Can I use that same kind of gentleness to throw it to the other hand? So
Okay.
there's never impact. And that's after I catch it and save it and all that. Okay.
And you can keep going all around. Yeah.
Yeah, it's most likely that it will not be a straight line back.
Right, and then you can continue. I mean, because then from that hand grabs it and then throws
Yeah.
it at you, and you continue.
You can. Which would be closer to probably real situation.
Yeah.
I mean, there's still no basis in reality.
No what with reality?
This still has no basis in reality.
No. Only Joe reality.
What, you don't normally throw sticks at your own chest, head, neck, and hips and everything,
You don't
Gary?
throw people at yourself.
Well, hang on, you're talking to Gary now.
The
Come on.
vectors of force are too simple, that's all.
Are you calling it Joe Simple?
I am calling the Joe simple.
That's not confession.
And if you want, you can do similar exercise in Seiza. That's if you want. Not everybody likes Seiza.
If you can.
Oh yeah, it's hard to do say that anymore. Wah! I get my 3-foot Joe.
And if you find yourself always catching it with the palm of your hand, try the back of your hand. Right? Just so you don't become. So if your habit is it goes to my hand, right? My hand's up, the hand grabs it. Change your habit. So you move
Now
more.
you're getting fancy.
No, it's just changed.
Fancy feast.
Ugh.
You should be able to move it from hand to hand without grabbing. And
Yeah, now it gets more used to being versatile.
and just like before, you don't want it to bounce. You don't want it to hit. You don't want it to impact.
Once you slam it against the back of your knuckles.
Don't do that.
Ah! Oh. Yeah, okay, I'll get you. Okay, cool. Yeah, you gotta still use that your body with it. Yeah, exactly. Versus just trying to catch it on the back of your hand. That's what the problem was. I was trying to use the back of my hand like the front of my hand. Can't really use
Well, so if you were using the front of your hand like I got it,
No.
then no.
I was gonna say, hey, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But you can
Yeah.
without hitting yourself.
Just bend your fingers backwards and hold the gel with. No, just kidding.
Well, but it hits on the bumpy bones and it really hurts. There's more softer stuff on the underside.
That's why you
So,
soften
Famous
it
last
with
words,
your.
okay? Famous last words.
See how it's being softened?
no. So, yeah, he softens the way he. Ah!
I soften it by going the same speed and vector and
It's
slowing
always
it
been a
down.
challenge for me, guys. Ah! Okay.
Ow.
Get your point, but yeah, it's not easy. But it's a good way to practice it, because you'll know immediately if you're not going the same speed. Yeah, okay.
Hint for you, Kay. Don't have the back of your hand meet the Joe. That's definitely gonna
Well,
hurt
that's
it
what
a
I
little
was
bit.
doing a couple of times.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was just
it
saying.
hurts. Majorly.
You can always just have the back of the hand move with the
Not
Joe.
today.
No, but Gary's doing it where he matches speed. And this is something
So-
he does when somebody attacks.
Yeah, I know. I know.
I always have a challenge with this, which is
Right.
nice to learn. And this helps you learn that.
It's
with
just receiving.
immediate feedback.
Bonk.
But, yeah.
Oh. Sounds like Kathy's having the same challenge I am.
Ah, you can hear the thunks, huh?
Yeah.
I think all of us have the funk.
What did you learn
Exactly.
today? How to thunk.
Oh gosh, come on.
So what might be easier, Kathy, instead of moving your arm away from it, is it starts to fall, move towards, and then when it gets close, move away. So you have room to slow it down.
Oh.
Otherwise, you have to be able to turn much more, right? If I don't move forward.
Don't move forward.
If I don't. So if I'm just going to go back, then I need to be able to move a lot more in order to slow it down.
I did a few on my knees, but they're grouching at me right now.
But I mean, even standing, right? If
Yeah.
I'm just going to go straight back, I don't have this room to slow it down, so I have to be able to go much more around. Or I can meet it and slow it, which is hard to demonstrate to me.
Yeah, that's hard. That's a
But if you-
challenge.
But if you notice, the arm goes towards it, then it goes away. The
There's
second,
no funk that way.
once it actually makes contact, it starts to go away. Yep.
Chicken.
And I mean, hopefully that impacts less.
Oh. Ah. So you come up to it to slow it, Gary?
So it depends on how much you can move, right? So if I can turn a lot, so my arm is, there you go, that's a good
Yeah.
angle, right? It's off to the side, so I'm not throwing it at myself right now. If I'm only gonna go away, then I have to turn that much in order
Yeah.
to slow it down. If I'm not gonna only go away, then I go that much. It's probably about the same distance, it's just where you start.
Okay.
So if I'm
But
going here and trying to slow it down in that amount of time, it's going to hit. It thuds.
It's gonna funk.
yeah.
It's gonna create an impact, and you're trying to minimize all impact by moving your whole body.
Not just the whole body.
Correct?
So I should be able to just do it with the arm, but I'm moving up so that I have more time,
Yeah,
That's
I
all.
get you.
right?
Okay. Timing
Then I
has
throw
to
it at
be
the chair.
right, otherwise it still does thunk. Even
What?
because otherwise you're running into it.
Otherwise, you're hitting it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're literally going against it, which
Yeah.
is gonna hurt like hell.
So you're,
But this is more of a blend with, if
it's,
I'm understanding it correctly. I could be wrong on that.
yeah, let's see if I can get closer. Yeah, you guys can still see. Okay. So what I need to do is this gets thrown, and then the instant it touches,
The instant it touches, that's the key.
I change.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I hit it.
Yeah. Okay.
So if I'm moving forward, there's a point where it stops,
Yeah.
right? I stop going
It's
forward and I start receiving. The other
it's
option,
that instant in your body.
well, I mean, just throwing it at it is the same idea. It's just I now have to go that way instead of coming forward and going less distance with my
Yeah.
arm. So it's harder because I have to turn more.
Okay. I get your concept. I see where the difference is, though. It's that being able to, at the instant of touch, be able to go with it.
Which is what
That's
all of
my
this
problem.
all of this is, right? The instant of touch. Go with it. So it doesn't bounce, it doesn't ricochet.
Right.
It keeps going largely on the line that it's thrown at.
Right.
As much on the line as possible with as little impact on me. Which is why I'm not going to have a bunch of bruises tomorrow.
It's developing that skill. That's good.
But I mean, we've been developing this skill all of our Aikido, right?
Yeah.
EQ.
Mm-hmm.
You don't EQ.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that hurts.
Or better yet, it's K's World,
EQ.
EQ. Just kidding. Just kidding.
But it's the same thing. I rise up to meet it, and then the instant there's contact, I absorb.
Yeah.
It comes in, I rise up to meet it, there's contact. Actually, it's tends to be like right before contact, but still same.
But that's one of those skills, Gary, that,
That
yeah.
all of our
Always a
Aikido is
challenge.
based on.
What?
That all of our Aikido is based on.
I know.
All of these
I know.
skills that you should have been practicing.
I just feel like I'm never very good at that skill.
Maybe Aikido?
Yeah, I was gonna say, and you practice Aikido, okay? I'm not good at blending. That blending stuff doesn't do well with me.
It's clunky.
I try. I work
That
on it
whole
all the
blending
time.
concept. I'm going back to karate.
Even in karate, they blend. This block,
Yeah, they do.
this block
Yeah.
blends.
Whatever art they don't blend in, I'm going back to that.
Bare knuckle boxing.
Oh.
Say what?
Bare knuckle boxing.
Yeah, there
You know, if that's what it is, that's what it is.
But even if the like Ikkyo is a mote, it blends.
Yeah.
Or it's just a larger blend. Right? But it goes in and blends.
Yeah.
I mean, that should be for every technique. Urinage, you go around. Kotegaishi comes in and turns, and so on and so on and so on.
Yeah. I got you. No, it's cool. It's just one of those things I'm not real good at. I don't feel like. I feel like I always have to work at it very hard. You know. And when we don't practice it, we end up with a thud. Because we're not being sensitive. Or I'm not.
Try not to thud.
Huh?
Try not to thud. I mean, ideally, you should be able to create that kind of deal with any part of your body.
Doesn't it look like I'm bending the joke?
Doesn't what?
Doesn't it look like I'm bending my joke?
Does it look like you're bending it? No.
Huh?
It looks like a metronome.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Or a very big windshield wiper for a very big wiper, very big windshield.
There you go. Oh. Yes!
Nice.
I moved my knee.
Whoa. My gosh.
And then, like, a lot of the snaking stuff is just all of this at a much smaller level, right? Like snaking around a Joe or an arm or any point of resistance, it's all of this, just much smaller.
Do that again. Okay. Wow.
Right? If it's slow, it goes around any point that there's a problem.
Oops.
But even if it gets like stuck in your armpit, right? It's the same concept. Except now your armpit is the one that's going around it. So now your armpit takes over instead of your arm. Right? So
I get
It's in-
stuck on it.
it's in my armpit.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
now my armpit is what takes over the motion.
Whoa.
And it does the same kind of blending with it.
You want us to do that or not do that?
No, that's right. So if I'm going around it and snaking around it, and I get stuck
Yeah.
somewhere, the part that gets stuck is what then continues the going around. And you'll notice, like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
my arm's not doing much with it. And I mean, you can do that with pretty much any part of your body. You can snake around things.
I tend to get stuck here. Why?
So you've come in, you've come around, and it's
Yeah.
your armpit, right?
Yeah.
So now my ribs and my armpit move around it,
Oh.
depending on where it's touching. If it's touching just
Yeah.
my armpit, then just my armpit does it. If it's touching my ribs, then my ribs and armpit. Anywhere that there's contact absorbs and goes.
I'm with Kay. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me right now. I can't translate that.
I get stuck.
What do you mean you get stuck?
Well, I feel like I get to a point, it's in my armpit,
So-
and my hands continue to try to go around, but maybe I shouldn't. Yeah.
You're
there.
doing this, right?
Yeah.
So if I wanted, right?
Okay.
So now the point that's
Okay.
stuck isn't stuck.
Yeah. Okay. Whoop. Whoa.
And then, yeah, you can use all of your body to continue to go around things. And so on and so on. Like, it shouldn't matter what part of your body is touching. There are joints around everything, so it's just a question of which area, which joints are you using. And it's the same concept. Your body receives whatever force or impact there is and moves around it. Probably slowing it along the way, or changing the direction slightly along the way, depending on what you want to do.
Can I see that again, Gary? That's a
What-
little nebulous to me.
So, which part? Because that was several things.
Once it's stuck and I'm trying to maneuver,
So, if it was stuck like Kay's, she was here, right?
yes, pretty similar.
So right now, what I feel is the inside of my bicep and my ribs. So those
Uh-huh.
are what need to soften to go around that force.
That's just, for some reason, that just feels like just opening the arm to me. Then I just lose it each time. I mean, I think
So-
I get the concept. Other things have to maneuver, but from here, it's just,
All right, but see, but Andrew, boy, watch,
Yeah.
right? I'm not just releasing it. I am going around it. So I actually move the body to absorb it. And I know, it's weird.
yeah, I'll have to, hey,
So, this is here, it's all locked.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure what angle is going to be good for this.
no, I'm with you.
The
I
ribs,
mean, I'm in the same position.
right, the ribs move,
Yeah, that
and
really
there's this really big, so
Yep.
that, the
It's
roundness,
definitely relief, but go ahead, I'm watching.
and now my hand can come out without problem, without it pressing against things. And depending on where I want to go, right,
Right.
I can move that so I go down,
Okay.
I can move it so I go off to the side.
But you're not locked anymore in this lock.
Correct.
Yeah. Right. So you're
So this
getting.
is turned, and even if I want to keep going in that direction, right?
Yeah.
So here, I'm trying to snake around, I get stuck, I change it so that I can still snake around.
Yep. I gotcha. I think it's that awareness of the parts of your body you need to let go. That then you do it and you're like, oh, wow, yeah, now I can move. But it's hard to realize what is stuck.
So it's really
Yeah.
it's a question of what do you have to release in order to keep doing what you want to do. So if this is right, that's turning that way.
Mm-hmm.
My ribs have to get in front of the stick. My back has to get around the back of it, and then my
Yeah.
hand can keep going.
Yeah. You know what's kind of interesting with this concept? What it makes me think of? That I need to move myself instead of trying to move the stick.
Yes, the whole point is to move around the
Yes.
impact.
So it's just like you try to move your uke instead of you moving. And then your uke just moves. This kind of gives me that awareness, that same aha.
And I mean,
that I
technically,
can't see.
you move it a little bit, right? You're changing the
Yeah.
shape some.
Yeah. But not. You're first initiating your own movement to get around it.
Correct.
Yeah. No, makes sense. Because it creates the opening. That stuckness.
Yeah. So like I said, the snaking is it's the same concept, just done at a smaller level.
Right?
All of this snaking stuff is the same concept
Yeah.
as impact, move,
Oh,
just done at a much smaller level because there's force being applied somewhere.
okay. Gotcha.
Really hard to keep it.
Oh.
I'll have to wait till we're face to face, Gary.
Okay.
I'm not picking it up on Zoom.
It's mostly just problem solving. But then whenever anything makes contact, it should end up being soft when it makes contact.
Right, because as soon as you get in that, it gets stuck, if not. Oops. Gotcha.
And I think this is kind of you grab someone and it's like grabbing air kind of feeling in Aikido.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, when you do that, you know, we've done that before on our Wednesdays or Mondays where
Mhm.
you go snake around the arm and I'm like, whoa, and then I'm pulled.
Yep.
And I'm stuck. As okay. And I'm like, how does that happen?
Practice. So yeah, that's what I got for today.